It's just me. But I don't know what's going on with me because I just finished 90 chapters of like Murderlin's enchanting dinner invitation, and I just have to sit in silence because it was so good, bro. It was so good, and it had a very bad ending, but still. I don't think I've ever loved like a book so much. Like I read that in less than 24 hours, and that was the best 24 hours that I've ever read. And it's not even the fact that the book had a good ending either, because it didn't have a good ending. It actually had a really sad ending. But despite that, like I enjoyed it because there was like a lot of depth with like all of the characters. And
My apologies, but I must mention that it is ongoing and it's not finished. But the latest chapter is chapter 90 and it has not been updated for 2 years.
you got to see it. No, because when I think about that book, I think about I'm Your Man by Miski. That's what I think about. Cause like male lead, second male lead, like first he was like imprisoned as slave, like considered a mad dog. Like that was all that he was for. They didn't consider him human. They considered him a dog. And when he met the other male lead, which was like this black hair guy, and he decided, I'm not gonna treat you like a dog. I'm gonna, and on top of that, like Black hair, he taught him how to read, how to write, all of those nice stuff. And they're having a nice friendship, like a nice friendship. And the warden found out, and of course, the warden started beating him to death, and was like, "Oh, you know what? Since you're able to train the mad dog, because keep in mind that he was not trainable because he was human. He decided, oh, it's either you're gonna do this or we're gonna kill you. So like why would he do that? Because remember, he considered this person his friend, and it drove him mad. And before he realized it, he started resenting the quote unquote dog. And then eventually he left him, and everything just went south for the dog from there. And then later on, years later, they meet again. And later, they ended up being neighbors, but Blackhair didn't remember Mad Dog, but Mad Dog remembered Blackhair. And the reason why this was, if you read later on, was because they forced him to like remove his memory or something like that. So he doesn't remember when he was there as a lieutenant or something for that time. And which made it suspicious why they were just neighbors was that the blondie was consistent and would like to cut onions like by his doorstep because they were like apartments, and you know how you can sit on the stairs and those kind of stuff. That was what he was doing, sitting on the stairs and just peeling onions every single day. But the peeling onions was basically a symbolization because from the beginning, he always fed onions. Blackhair always fed onions to Mad Dog because onions actually help you heal faster. If you didn't know, fun fact. And he would just constantly peel onions there, and that was how they began talking. And yeah. And then later on, when they continue talking and everything, a Mad Dog invites Blackhair for dinner. And it was going okay until someone knocked on Mad Dog's door, and Blackhair was free to roam. And keep in mind that Mad Dog had candles everywhere in his house for some weird reason. And Blackhair found it suspicious, so he went to investigate while Mad Dog was away. And he took a candle and he went into another room and that was when he saw a dead body. And I want you to keep in mind that they live in a very dangerous neighborhood where anything that's not a death, police don't take it lightly. Like, they ignore you. Oh, and keep in mind that Black Hair also had a stalker, which will be revealed later on to be his ex that he broke up with, like, on the spot. So, yeah. And when he reported it, the police did not pay him any mind because they were like, are you a chick? Like, we're not helping you with that. Don't waste our time. You can you can defend yourself. So when Black Hair saw a dead body, and keep in mind that they lived in a dangerous neighborhood where murders were common, he was immediately like, oh my god, this person is a serial killer. I need to report this. But of course, the police won't listen to him. They think he's mad. And keep in mind that Mad Dog came back. And when he came back and everything, they were still talking. And Black Hair was like, oh, I feel sick now. I'm going to go back. And keep in mind that Black Hair was holding a candle at the time and shoved the candle in his pocket, unable to put it back. So when Black Hair went back home and everything, Mad Dog knew that. But also, Black Hair didn't end up reporting it though. But Mad Dog knew that Black Hair knew that he was a serial killer. And instead of consulting with the police, Black Hair consulted with his one rich friend that refuses to give him any money, because keep in mind that Black Hair is not poor, but like close to poor. Back in like the old days, please. Like, that was when like ghost writers, those kind of things were popular. And he went to consult with his friend, and his friend was like, well, there are many bad people. Everyone has a bad side, but it's dependent on whether he's bad to you or not. So now, that has him. And he decided not to report Mad Dog. But he kept his distance, but it didn't really end up working because there was no way. Mad Dog was overbearing, and he would never leave him alone. And the next time they had dinner, because he promised him dinner another time, Mad Dog was like, I know that you know that I'm a serial killer. And he actually started to avoid Mad Dog not because he was a serial killer, but because he thought that Mad Dog was also his stalker. But it turns out that he actually wasn't the one that was sending him mail and those creepy notes everywhere, until one night when he was trying to sleep and his ex came out of nowhere standing over him, and defend himself, he got a knife, because he kept a knife on him because he was sure that one day Mad Dog might just, kill him or do whatever. But it was his ex, and his ex was trying to R-word him in his sleep, and he fought back, but was it successful? And then Mad Dog just came out of nowhere. Like, Mad Dog was, I don't even know why, but Mad Dog came out of nowhere and beat the living shit out of the ex. And then Black Hair was like, please don't like hurt him, like, as in like, don't kill him, because I don't want to go to prison. And Mad Dog was like, oh, of course, I would never do such a thing. Just leave him to me. And Mad Dog ended up, leaving him in the forest, like glistened in like meat. I just like left him there so that whatever animal decided to come kill him, yeah, that would be their dinner. So yeah, after that, gain like a pact or something, and they work through their differences. And despite the fact that my dog was like, I'm in love with you, um, security, not security, black hair guy, is thinking to himself, what do you mean by that? Like, you can't, like, no. I'm no. And it was only until, like, he stopped seeing, oh, no longer peeling onions at my spot, or, oh, so and so. He was still being friendly with him, but, like, something didn't feel right, and then Blackhair got like annoyed of it, and then just eventually just started confessing his love, and yeah, but they never have a happy ending because later on, Blackhair gets a ghostwriting deal, like a deal where he gets to produce something to the royal family. And keep in mind that he was good. He was really good, but he was a ghostwriter. And somebody found his interest and was like, oh, I'm a fan of you, yada, 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 work for me. So, of course, he's going to take this offer and eat it up. So he does. I'm going to take a quick intermission and tell you something about the person that said that, oh, I'm such a big fan of your writing, yada, yada, yada. He was actually paid by the quote-unquote best friend that he met before that told him, oh, everyone's a bad person, but it's dependent on whether they're bad for you, like bad to you. He actually paid him to hire him. Told him, I'll pay you so money to work with this guy and try to be his lover, which didn't make any sense. But keep in mind that his quote-unquote friend was insane in the membrane. He didn't even like him like that. Either way, he didn't like him like that. But he was insane in the membrane and just wanted his quote-unquote friend to never be happy. That's the thing. So Blackhair gets a new job, and let's say this person that was hired by the friend is gray hair. He doesn't really have gray hair, he has black hair, but I don't want to confuse you. So gray hair and black hair, they're working together to produce something to the royal family. Everything's going okay, but gray hair is like a little bit too touchy, and black hair does not like that because he feels uncomfortable. Every single time when it's time to, go, he always makes up the excuse of, oh, I have a dog at home and that dog gets lonely. But he's referring to his lover as a dog because he doesn't like telling people that he has a lover or some shit like that. Yeah. So he tells him he has a dog to take care of. Right? But so after they completed everything and yada yada yada, black hair is ready to go home, but gray hair was like, I'm not gonna let you go home until I get like 3 drinks with you. I will not let you leave until I get 3 drinks with you. And it was quite awkward and uncomfortable, and he just, while gray hair was sitting at the table while black hair was taking the drink of wine that he thought was like wine. No, it wasn't wine, champagne. Gray hair just came out with the I love you all of a sudden. And black hair's like, why? Like, why me of all people? Like, no, ew, disgusting, stop. And I don't even know. And later it turned out that the wine wasn't wine. It was some sort of drug that he drank whole. So it made Blackhair drunk. And Blackhair could take his alcohol. But it made him drunk. And Gray Hair tried to assault him. And Blackhair, he fought for his life, bro. Like, he wasn't taking that shit from nobody. And then he eventually got, like, a candle from nearby and flung it at him, hitting him, and stabbed him. And took, like, a candle something and a sheet or some shit like that. And he was like, if you come any closer, I'm going to burn this place to the ground. So that was how he was able to escape from literally being assaulted. And so eventually Blackhair escapes, and a Mad Dog comes out of nowhere and holds Gray Hair captive and almost kills him. And there's a lot of things. Let's move on past that. He ended up killing him. And it was later on. No, he didn't kill him. He beat him up so bad. He lost like almost half of his teeth. Gray Hair reported it to his friend and was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you made me lose my job. You made me lose my family. You made me lose everything now because of that job. If I knew that this would be like this, I would have never taken the job to begin with. Right? And the friend realizes this and takes it up to himself to separate them.
Anyways, this is like taking too much, so I'm gonna make a part 2. So yeah, I'm gonna make a part 2. Also, the book is called no. It's called I can't even say like the word properly. Please don't fight me. Murder llewellyn's Enchanting Dinner Invitation.